So over the next few years, marijuana sales are going to be growing fairly consistently, and the industry is going to be getting bigger and bigger. And along with that, we're going to be having a lot of companies which are going to be getting bigger and bigger. And here's a list of 5 companies that are indirectly or mostly indirectly going to be benefiting off the industry. So yeah, I'll put the list in the description if you don't want to watch the whole video. Also, by the way, I don't know how accurate this graphic is right here. I'm just using it for the concept, for the idea, but this graphic is a prediction, of course, so it could be slightly different. But anyways, first company on the list that we have is Scotts Miracle-Gro. This company is a fairly safe investment. It takes away a lot of the risk of investing into the marijuana industry. It's currently worth $5.3 billion. It already pays dividends, so significantly less risk than investing into some of the startup companies that are currently out there. And this company, once you're going to have recreational marijuana, taking place in states like California, there are going to be a certain portion of people who are going to try to grow their own plants. And in order to grow their own plants, they're going to be buying soil nutrients and all of that stuff from, probably from your local stores. They're not really going to go out of their way to buy the proper nutrients. And something like Scotts Miracle-Gro should be seeing an increase in sales. Now, whether or not that's already priced into the stock, I don't know, but a company like this should be benefiting off the marijuana industry, especially off the recreational marijuana industry, because whether or not it's viable for people to grow their own plants is another issue, but some people are going to grow their own plants just because they think it's fun or interesting or something. There's going to be a certain portion of people who are going to do that, and a company like this would benefit. Up next on the list we have Terra Corp, and this is a smaller company that has more risk to it. Pretty heavily diluted, currently worth $156 million, which is that's not necessarily cheap. But this company provides the necessary technology to grow plants indoors, so everything that's needed. And it would obviously benefit because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be doing startups, and those people are going to need technology to grow marijuana indoors, and this is one of the companies that might provide it. Now, whether or not it's going to be profitable, I don't know. It is pretty pricey right now, and it is losing money, but in the future, once the recreational side gets going and once there's a lot of startups, this company might be the one that supplies a lot of the startup companies with the technology that they need to grow the marijuana. So check it out, see if you like it. Up next on the list we have Kush bottles, and once again, this is a smaller company. It's a more riskier company, but it will benefit off the industry. Not really very indirectly, but this company provides the packaging required for recreational and medical marijuana. And currently it's worth $86 million, which is pretty pricey. I would suggest waiting until it drops a little bit more in the future before buying it. It should be dropping for the next few months, or at least it shouldn't be going up, in my opinion. But the packaging side of the marijuana industry, so whenever you have like an $8 billion industry and it's just starting up, a lot of companies are not really going to invest into their own packaging. Some of the bigger ones might, but a lot of the startup companies, a lot of the smaller companies, they're not going to invest in packaging. The retail companies, they're just going to buy the packaging from a company like this, and it has the ability to make some money because it is the company right now that provides good packaging for medical and recreational. So it has some potential in the future. Yeah, pretty pricey. This is one of those companies that everybody kind of figures it out. They're like, well, what is going to benefit off the marijuana industry? And that's going to be packaging, which is why this company is, it's pretty pricey for what it currently is. And I don't know, check it out. It might actually be worth an investment because it's not out of the question that this company could double in the future, in the next year or so. It's completely reasonable in my opinion. Up next on the list we have AeroGrow International. This is another company that provides setups for growing plants indoors. This company focuses on smaller things, more of the consumer side of stuff. So once again, if you're going to have people who are going to be trying to grow their own marijuana, they might go and buy something like this because it's going to be a lot easier and probably a lot more viable to grow indoors of something like this than some other setup that you might get. So they might benefit. This stock, it did kind of go up after the elections fairly significantly because people did expect it to go up for that exact same reason, and it's been dropping ever since. So this is a pretty risky stock, and I don't know, take a look at their financials, do a lot of research on this one if you're going to try to invest into it, but this is a company that could benefit as well. Uh, and lastly on the list we have innovative industrial properties. I'm not particularly saying that this company is the one that you should invest in. Uh, I don't necessarily know the real estate side of business. I don't really know real estate well, at all, basically. I don't follow the real estate side of stocks and all of that stuff. But real estate companies for the marijuana industry, the companies that are going to be providing the space required to grow and sell and all of that stuff, they could be profitable as well. They could be something that you might want to look into if you're interested in the real estate side of things. But personally, I'm not really too familiar with this side of the business, so I don't know exactly how profitable it's going to be. But this is one company that does it. You know, they're going to be offering the real estate necessary for these companies to get started. And I don't know, if you know a lot about this sector, and you might want to do some digging and see if you can find a company that actually has something to it, and it could be a good investment in the long run, because you know, it's fairly valuable in my opinion. So I don't know, take a look. Hopefully this helped. And in the next few years, it should be fairly interesting to see what companies are going to be dominating and what companies are going to be burning. But yeah, so good luck.